Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. This is gonna be a more or less classic read. I will do a little bit of a different spread. I'll do 9 cards today with the DF, energy, DM, and the connection at this time. At the end, we'll pull some messages between the twins, and of course, I'm gonna start with an oracle deck. Today is gonna be the Sacred Traveler, one of my classics. And let's see what is going on with the DF today. Hope you guys are doing great. Okay, so we got Voyage of the Heart. Love flows through you and to you. So I'm immediately hearing you may be noticing extra attention from other people to you. Could be flirting, could be just generally people want to come over and greet you and talk to you and ask you questions, like get to know you better. And you'll be like, well, this is like a surprising interest, right? Or I would never think that kind of person would be interested, right? Like this is this natural magnetism that you exude. And actually, it's going to be a very interesting flow of energy throughout April as we are in starting a new month. Just a quick word on the Venus and Mars conversation. I will do a dedicated reading about that, but just wanted to say that there will be more of that masculine feminine dynamic in the air. There will be more desire to let's say to be attractive to the opposite sex, or the whoever your opposite energy is, but also to find attractiveness in that someone, in that opposite energy, right? Instead of like having this an all going conversation, like an all time conversation about how different we are, what's this, what's that we don't really understand each other in different areas, right? It's gonna be like, oh, okay, so now I'm learning, I'm noticing this and that about that energy, so now I understand where they're coming from, or how they express their feelings, or what their priorities are and why, things like that. So it will be coming from a positive space, from a space of love. It's beautiful. So this right now there's a setup of that energy, especially for divine feminine. I'm getting that it will be more vivid for both twins, but yeah, for divine feminine even more so. For the masculine, we've got infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. Beautiful. This is the 10 of Pentacles energy, basically. Just remember that in order to continue that flow, it's supposed to be the energy of, well, first of all, it's supposed to be the energy of not of balance and harmony, right? And being relaxed about the whole concept of like, is my abundance coming? Am I gonna get this promotion, that project, this client, whatever, right? It's like it's supposed to be like at ease about it. If it's connected to the intention you set, you've already sent your message to the universe, right? If you're taking steps daily about reaching that goal, about being there, right? There's nothing else for you to do here. It's just about keeping that flow open. And also, if we're talking about abundance, also about giving and receiving, that sort of direction, right? And it doesn't have to be financial necessarily, right? You can give your time, your effort, your attention, your, skills, right? Like it could be different kind of exchange. It doesn't have to be like literal, it doesn't have to be just about money, but it should be happening. Okay, let's see what we have for the energies now. I'm using the Dreamway Tarot today. I'll do my best to record the next reading from the beach. I have that intention. We'll see if it's quiet enough, if I'm gonna be comfortable enough. Going to an interesting beach in Maui tomorrow, so I'll try to use it as my next location. And of course, I will start posting April readings on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo, so make sure that you check that out. There is a handle mentioned in the description box. Also, it's mentioned as one of my featured channels on this channel. Okay, so for the feminines, we've got the Hierophant, Two of Wands, the World. For the masculine, we've got the Devil, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. And for the connection, we have 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, and the Sun. Wow. It's this huge karmic clearing happening, huge. It's beautiful. King of Wands, bottom of the deck. Yeah, there is a general vibe of wanting to be wise about things, wanting to be more accepting, more patient, and more even knowledgeable, I would say. But it's more about life experience rather than some sort of theoretical facts, right? Like, so that you don't have to almost like reinvent the wheel, or try to figure it out like step by step from scratch. Like there is that wishful thinking that it would be great if I already had this kind of experience, or enough of that experience, so that those decisions can come in easily. Just not about thing to wish, actually, for the decisions to come easily, and you can always create an affirmation about that, right? And see how is it possible, at least energetically, for you to be in a space where you can receive, right? Because we all can receive channelings, we can all receive downloads that will help us there, even if we don't have actual experience, or we haven't studied that field of knowledge specifically, right? So the feminines, Hierophant, and we actually have quite a lot of major arcanas here. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 9. That's quite a lot, yeah. So the twins are generally staying in alignment with the universal flow and goal and intention. The universal intention, that's what I'm getting, yeah. So some of you divine feminines could be planning some travel and needing to make some decision on where do you begin or how you want to plan it. But for the majority, this energy is about how do you present yourself to the world, right? It's like, maybe it's because you've gotten that extra attention, for some of you, from people. And you know, like what happens when maybe you made some changes in your life and what you do, right? Like you stepped into mission, you quit your job, you changed some of your views, and maybe got a new hobby, right? And then people start coming over to you, and we just got that message with the oracle card that they're approaching you, they're asking questions. And because you're in that new place, you don't necessarily know yet how to articulate it, how to phrase it for people to understand what exactly you do, or what are your preferences or your hobbies, or whatever those questions are, right? Like, it's taken a minute to explain, right? And then after you've explained, you go back home, or you know, you're just on your own, and you start replaying it in your head, and you're like, oh, it's not really accurate. And then you start that process of identifying for yourself in words, right? In a conscious way. What is it? Who am I? How do I present myself? I know I had that experience quite recently, actually. Well, you know, I do travel a lot these days because while I'm in Hawaii, I'm trying to see and experience as much as I can. And one of my experiences recently was a trip to a different part of the island. It was a very interesting, very different kind of community that you would normally see in Hawaii. And that was a new group of people, right? Like, I was new to them. And not only that, but also I was introduced to some people even before I got there. Like, they heard about me, right? They were told about me. And it was interesting because first of all, that introduction that somebody made about me wasn't the way I would describe myself. It wasn't wrong. It's just not how I present myself to people, right? And then also when I was presenting myself, I caught myself on the thought that I'm not necessarily doing an accurate representation, or I'm not highlighting the thing that I'm actually passionate about, or that is my priority right now, right? Because it takes courage, and yeah, I mean, there are different things here, right? There's a lot to unpack, and I wouldn't fit it into this reading for sure. I'm already at 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna say that this is that process of reimagining yourself. And it's very important. And we have the Hierophant and the World cards, which are both major arcanas, which means that the universe is actually pushing you to do that for yourself, first of all, because remember that the way we think about ourselves in our life, the way we speak about it, actually creates that life. So if you are not actually thinking or speaking from, you know, that authentic place of how you feel and what is important, right, authentically to you, then it means that you're kind of manifesting this energy of like, or you're telling the world, right, like, oh yeah, that's important, but yeah, I'm just not, you know, you're thinking it's important, but you're not showing it. And that's a dissonance, and it's not gonna get you into a good place. It's just gonna create different kind of challenges and misalignments on the way. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, for the masculine, we have the Devil, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. So notice that for the feminine, we had Two of Wands. Here we have Two of Pentacles. Both of them are kind of about choices, but in a different way. So the masculine here is struggling with some karmic patterns and habits, right, of how they see their life. As the Queen of Pentacles here, how they see their household to be run, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, right? Queen of Pentacles energy is like taking care of the household. It includes daily routine, it includes making food, for example, sleep routine, taking care of family, like children, siblings, parents, whoever, right? Husband, wife. It's a lot about like, and so the masculines are kind of revisiting those. Well, yeah, first of all, because there's still some limiting beliefs there, right, that cause some toxicity in those setups, or where DMs is actually, it's not even, in a lot of cases, it's not even so that much of a toxicity, but more of a narrow-mindedness, right? Like, I've been told this talk, I've been brought up this way, you know, I've been taught a certain belief and I'm gonna stick with it. Or I know this someone who has a perfect life as far as I'm concerned, and that's what they do, so I'm gonna stick with the same, right? Like, there is something about that is now being turned around. It's like the tables are turning, and either the masculine is seeing how that's not them and they cannot stick to that paradigm, or they're seeing that, like, the problem why those beliefs get stuck in our head is because we don't see the kind of negative consequences of them, right? Sometimes it happens because that's like an unrealistic dream, right? Like a cherished dream that is like far away and you cannot grasp it. Like, you're trying, but you never actually get into it. So it remains that let's say wishful thinking, right? Because it's not real. It doesn't exist in your reality yet, right? And now, if that's the scenario, then the DMs can actually see how it works out in their life if they go with that plan. Maybe just it now exists in their life for a little while. Maybe they see it in from another concept with someone else that they know, or like who matters to them, and they're like, oh yeah, I never really thought about those complications, or I never thought about these consequences, right? So there is like this, and that's causing that the bigger visit of how I see my life, or how I want to build my life. For example, like, I've got it figured out and it's pretty comfortable for me as a single person, but I also have my vision on how I want us to live our life with like my life partner, right? And that particular paradigm is changing now, because there was a chance to see what it would be like this way, and for some people to see how it would be like if it's completely different. that actually looks a lot more attractive than what they had in mind. And that's why it's like, it's mind-blowing, you know. It's like, wow, maybe I had the wrong idea all this time. For the connection energy, we have 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, and the Sun. The Sun is the happiest card in the deck. So there is a desire to rejoice and to appreciate each other. Sorry, it's here. Appreciate each other, right? Also share stories of success, moments of insight of like, yeah, I got this kind of opportunity, or I caught this break, or, you know, I met these wonderful people, right? There's desire to share that, which is great. On the other hand, there is a bit of the distraction for the twins, at least from the connection, because of other people in their life, right? And the attention that those people are seeking. It's a very interesting concept. I don't think I usually see that in 5 of Wands. But this is literally, it's not even people interfering. It's like people are minding their business. But because they're in close proximity, you get distracted because, you know, they interact with you, they're asking for some attention for some time. Maybe they are sharing their advice on how they feel you should act on certain things, right? Like it could be quite innocent actually, but they can have the best intentions. But as a result, it's creating a bit of that extra noise, which is of course a good contrast for the twins who truly appreciate the connection and what they've got with their journey. Very interesting. Okay, let's get the messages. I've got my Hermit Tarot deck. Let's get the messages from DM to DF first of all. Nice, we got happiness is my priority and I'm too afraid to talk. So DM is going within at this time in terms of communication, right? It's like I'm sensing that the energy is somewhat depleted, and also because they're revisiting the whole, either their current lifestyle or what they had in mind for the future, you know, it takes time, right? And they realize because you are their divine partner, you know, so that definitely concerns you, and whether they accept it or they're still in denial, subconsciously it's still true for them. So they do need some time to process that before they can continue conversation about it, the communication, because part of that setup is going to be a lot about communication and how they communicate with the partner, right? Like how they see each other, etc. Like it's a huge topic. So yeah, they want to find that happy place. They now see that they had their own idea, right? So they want to find that happiness, but it's quite a bit of work. So they just want you to know that if they don't send a message, they don't show up somewhere, or maybe they take a while to reply, it's because they are doing that soul searching right now, and it's pretty important. Now, from feminines to masculines, you are so beautiful, why do you need me? And I'm absolutely in love with you. Yeah, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, DF is in a place where this reinvention of themselves actually triggers that extra sensation of getting to know themselves and appreciating themselves on a new level, that self-love kind of wave. And we all know then when that happens in a healthy way, then there is more love to give, and it immediately hits that energy of divine masculine, right? It immediately is sent telepathically to divine masculine with this beautiful vibes of like, you know, I'm absolutely in love with you. This is unconditional love, and it's beautiful, and I'm thankful for it, and I'm better for it. Okay, I hope this was good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I will be back with more readings very, very soon. And welcome to April. Bye, guys.